Some battles aren't fought in the open. They're waged in the quiet erosion of our relationships, in the endless chase for validation, in the hollow victories of a culture that prizes image over substance. We live in an age where narcissism isn't just tolerated, it's rewarded. But what if the very systems we trust, social media, consumerism, even our families, are designed to keep us trapped in cycles of self-obsession and emptiness? Christopher Lasch saw it coming. In the culture of narcissism, he warned that modern society doesn't just attract narcissists, it creates them. But here's the hope. When you see the traps, you can escape them. And just as Lasch exposed the roots of this crisis, heaven doesn't leave you without tools to break free. These are the 5 angels God sends when culture tries to destroy your soul. The angel of awareness, exposing the illusion. Modern society runs on one unspoken rule. Your value is determined by what you can consume and what you can make others consume about you. Social media isn't just a tool, it's a marketplace where you are both the seller and the product. Every post, every like, every follower is a transaction. Christopher Lasch saw this decades ago. Advertising turns consumption into a substitute for identity. But the angel of awareness doesn't just show you the trap, it shows you the toll. That exhaustion you feel after scrolling. It's not boredom, it's grief. Grief for the hours spent performing instead of living. Grief for the self you've buried under filters and captions. This angel comes to ask you, who would you be if no one was watching? And in that question, the first mirror shatters. The myth of the self-made narcissist culture celebrates the self-made individual, the entrepreneur, the influencer, the girl boss. But this is another illusion. Narcissism thrives in systems that reward individualism at the expense of community. Lasch warned that the narcissist is not really self-sufficient. He depends on others to validate his self-esteem. Think about it. Why do we call it self-help when the message is always, "You're not enough yet"? Why do we praise hustle culture while ignoring its casualties, burnout, isolation, the erosion of real relationships? The angel of awareness reveals the truth. You were never meant to build your worth alone. The narcissistic world profits from your loneliness, but heaven offers a different path, one where your value isn't earned, but given. The distraction economy and how to opt out. Narcissistic culture doesn't just want your money, it wants your attention. Because attention is the currency of control. The news cycle, the outrage machine, the endless scroll, all designed to keep you too distracted to ask, who benefits from my fear, my insecurity, my endless striving? Lasch called this the depletion of the self in the service of spectacle. But the angel of awareness disrupts the cycle. It's the quiet voice that says, look up, breathe. The world beyond the screen is still here. It's the sudden clarity when you realize you've spent an hour comparing your life to a stranger's highlight reel. And in that moment, you have a choice. Keep feeding the machine, or step into the freedom of seeing, truly seeing, the strings pulling the show. The ultimate revelation. You were never meant to live this way. The final gift of the angel of awareness is the hardest to accept. You were complicit, but you were also conned. You didn't choose narcissistic culture. You were born into it. You were taught to confuse visibility with value, busyness with purpose, consumption with joy. But awareness is the first act of rebellion. Lasch wrote that the narcissist has no past, only a future full of limitless possibility, and thus, no real future at all. When this angel arrives, it doesn't just show you the lies, it hands you back your history, your pain, your longings, the parts of you that don't fit the algorithm. And in that sacred space, you begin to remember, you are not a profile to optimize, you are a soul to recover. The angel of discernment, breaking the spell, There is a moment, a sacred, terrible moment, when you first question the voices, when the script they've been feeding you suddenly tastes like ash. That is the moment the angel of discernment crosses the threshold. This is no gentle visitor. This is heaven's interrogator, sent to dismantle the lies you've swallowed whole. The architecture of deception. Modern narcissism doesn't announce itself. It seeps into the groundwater of culture until you're drinking lies with every breath. Lasch warned, in a narcissistic society, even reality becomes a commodity to be packaged and sold. The news cycle, designed to keep you perpetually outraged or afraid, because a destabilized mind is easier to control. Self-help industry sells you endless fixes for manufactured inadequacies. Political theater, leaders who govern by spectacle rather than substance. The angel of discernment shows you the wiring behind the walls, that politician's tears, rehearsed, that influencer's authenticity, focus grouped, that corporate mindfulness program, a pressure valve to keep you productive in an inhuman system. The gaslighting pandemic. Narcissistic culture doesn't just lie, it makes you doubt your ability to perceive truth. Lasch called this the systematic undermining of everyday reality. You've experienced this when you're told it's not that bad about soul-crushing working conditions. You're too sensitive when naming emotional abuse. That's just how things are about systemic corruption. The angel of discernment hands you back your sanity. It's the sudden clarity when you realize, no, healthy systems don't require this much cognitive dissonance to survive. This is not normal. This is not inevitable. This is engineered. The bait and switch of modern identity. Consumer capitalism offers a devil's bargain. We'll give you identity if you'll let us define it. Lasch observed, the narcissist has no authentic self, only a repertoire of roles. How the spell works: create insecurity. You're lacking. Sell the cure. This product true politician, guru, will complete you. Reset the cycle. Now here's why that solution no longer works. The angel of discernment disrupts this alchemy. It's the moment you notice. Your desires have been programmed. Why do I want what I want? Your rebellions are branded. Why is counterculture now a target? Collection. Even your resistance is commodified. Discernment as spiritual warfare. This isn't just about spotting lies. It's about reclaiming your soul's native language. The narcissistic world wants you fluent in anxiety, envy, and lack. Discernment teaches you to speak truth again. Signs the angel is working. You develop allergy-like reactions to manipulative language. Formerly persuasive voices now sound mechanical, like bad AI. You catch yourself mid-performance. Why am I posing right now? Lasch was right. The culture of narcissism leaves people starving in the midst of plenty. But discernment is the beginning of famine for the systems that feed on your confusion. The unspelling, there comes a point where discernment becomes irreversible. Like Neo seeing the Matrix's code, you can't unsee the machinery. This looks like recognizing thought-terminating cliches. It is what it is. Detecting emotional baiting in headlines and conversations. Spotting narcissistic triangulation in workplaces and families. The angel of discernment doesn't promise this will make life easier, only more authentic. As Lasch noted, the narcissist flees from truth because it threatens his fragile fiction of control. But you're learning to stand in the holy fire of reality. This is what breaking the spell looks like. Not sudden enlightenment, but daily resistance. Not perfect clarity, but the courage to question. The narcissistic world survives on your participation. The angel of discernment comes with one devastating question. What happens if you stop playing? The angel of resistance. Refusing to perform. There comes a rebellion so quiet, the world mistakes it for surrender. No placards, no slogans, just a soul ceasing to perform. This is where the angel of resistance enters, not with a sword, but with the unbearable weight of divine silence. The performance economy. We live in what Lasch called the theatricalization of American life, where identity becomes costume, relationships become transactions, and authenticity becomes liability. The angel of resistance hands you an invoice, your attention, your joy, your unfiltered thoughts. These are the wages they've stolen. The anatomy of a refusal. Resistance begins in the body before it reaches the mind. Physical signs. The angel is working. Your customer service voice cracks mid-sentence. Your hands refuse to type, "I'm fine," in response to "How are you?" Your face won't arrange itself into expected expressions. Lasch warned, the narcissist demands constant validation while offering none in return. But when you stop feeding the machine, the gears grind to a halt. The 5 silent revolutions. True resistance rarely shouts. It manifests in sacred withdrawals. The pause before performing. The unedited thought, the unjustified no, the unmonetized hobby, and the unproductive rest. Each is a strike against what Lasch termed the degradation of personal life into a series of marketable moments. The backlash and why it's sacred expect fallout. Narcissistic systems interpret silence as aggression, absence as betrayal. Their script: you've changed translation. You've stopped feeding my ego, not a team player. Translation: you won't pretend exploitation is camaraderie. Selfish translation: you're no longer sacrificing to their bottom line. The angel of resistance prepares you for this. As Lasch wrote, in a world of pretenders, the authentic person becomes the disruptor. Resistance as spiritual sustenance. This isn't burnout, it's the opposite, the reclamation of your soul's energy. Signs the angel is winning activities that once drained you, now feel unbearably heavy. You crave solitude not as escape, but as reorientation. Formerly impressive people seem smaller, their theatrics transparent. Lasch saw this coming. The culture of narcissism leaves people exhausted by the very games meant to distract them from their emptiness. The quiet apocalypse. When enough individuals stop performing, entire systems collapse. Domino effects. Corporations panic when employee engagement surveys go unanswered. Social media algorithms starve without your authentic self-branding. Abusers and narcissists frantically escalate when their supply is cut. The angel of resistance whispers, "Let them. Their hunger is not your responsibility." This is how cultures shift, not with fire but with frost, not through argument but absence. The narcissistic world will call your resistance laziness, selfishness, madness. The angel knows the truth. You're finally, devastatingly sane. The angel of community, rebuilding real connection. The angel of community, rebuilding real connection. We are the most connected lonely people in history. We've traded front porch conversations for comment sections, shared meals for reaction emojis, vulnerability for viral vulnerability. But when God sends the angel of community, it doesn't come with a friend request. It comes with the scent of shared bread, the weight of a hand on your shoulder, the terrifying risk of being known. The Great Replacement: How Narcissistic Culture Hijacked Belonging. Lasch warned that late-stage capitalism destroys communities by replacing them with markets. What was stolen from us? The counterfeits. We've accepted digital tribalism, mistaking algorithmic echo chambers for true belonging. Transactional friendships. I'll support your venture if you support mine. Performance-based love relationships, contingent on. Maintaining an image. The angel of community begins its work when you feel that sickening hollowness after a night of perfect social media engagement. The 3 sacred discomforts of real connection. The narcissistic world sold us comfort at the cost of our humanity. True community demands the discomfort of presence. No phones at the table, no multitasking, just the unbearable gift of attention. The discomfort of conflict, letting relationships breathe through disagreement rather than performative harmony. The discomfort of dependence, asking for help without self-deprecating jokes to soften the request, Lasch observed. The narcissist views others as extensions of himself. The angel comes to reintroduce us to real people, not audience members or supporting actors in our personal drama. The underground railroad of authentic relationship. While the culture of narcissism dominates the surface, rebels are building something deeper. Signs you've found them. Conversations that end rather than pause when a phone rings. Friends who notice your absence before noticing your posts. Shared silence that feels like communion rather than awkwardness. These are what Lasch called the saving remnants, pockets of resistance keeping human connection alive. The exorcism of the personal brand. To be known in an age of personal branding is an act of rebellion. Practices that summon the angel. Sharing an unfiltered thought without workshopping it for engagement. Showing up without documenting the moment. Letting relationships exist off the grid of social validation. Lasch warned that even intimacy becomes performance in narcissistic culture. The angel comes to reclaim what was profaned. The radical economics of attention. In an attention economy, giving someone your full focus is revolutionary. The new currency, eye contact, the rarest cryptocurrency. Active listening, a subversive act. Uninterrupted presence, the ultimate luxury. Good, the angel whispers. What if the most rebellious thing you can do today is listen, truly listen, to someone the world has trained you to ignore? The sacred inefficiency of community. Narcissistic culture prizes speed and scalability, but human connection thrives in glorious inefficiency. Time wasting that saves your soul. The 2-hour coffee date with no agenda. The letter that took 3 days to write and 5 days to arrive. The spontaneous driveway conversation that derails your productive evening. Lasch saw this coming. The therapeutic sensibility has severed the link between private and public life. The angel comes to reconnect them, one wasted moment at a time. The narcissistic world will call this regression. The angel calls it resurrection. Every uncurated moment, every unrecorded laugh, every risk taken to be known rather than viewed. These are the quiet revolutions that rebuild the world. The angel of legacy, planting seeds beyond yourself. The narcissists empty forever. Lasch exposed the tragic irony. The culture of narcissism is obsessed with immortality, yet incapable of conceiving anything lasting. The modern immortality projects, digital afterlives, AI avatars that mimic your speech patterns after death, vanity memoirs, ghost-written autobiographies by 30-year-old influencers, legacy, brands, companies that trademark your name to sell your ethos. The angel walks through these museums of impermanence and whispers, "This is not how souls endure." The 3 lies about legacy. We've been sold. Narcissistic culture has commercialized eternity. Lie 1, legacy equals visibility. That being remembered is the same as mattering. Lie 2, legacy equals accumulation. That what you amass defines your worth. And lie 3, legacy equals control. That you can dictate how future generations perceive you. The angel arrives when you feel that hollow ache after another milestone reached that didn't deliver the promised meaning. The underground economy of eternal things. While the world trades in trends, rebels are investing in the imperishable, the new currency of legacy, the unattributed wisdom. Lessons passed on without claiming credit, and the anonymous gifts, resources given without donor plaques. The unphotographed moments, truths shared where no algorithm can reach them. Lasch warned that narcissistic culture turns even altruism into self-aggrandizement. The angel comes to purify our giving, the sacred disappearance, Christ's most subversive tactic. Unless a seed falls to the ground and dies. Practices that summon the angel, creating something and not signing it, mentoring someone who will surpass you, planting trees whose shade you'll never sit under. This is what Lasch called the antidote to cultural amnesia, the quiet work that outlasts monuments, the time capsule. Test the angel's piercing question. Will this survive the death of platforms? What makes the cut? A handwritten recipe that becomes a family's communion. A repaired porch swing that holds future lovers. A truth spoken that echoes in someone's choices decades later. Not everything that counts can be counted. Not everything that lasts can be archived. The resurrection of patience. In an age of viral moments, the angel reintroduces holy slow growth, the new radical timeline, friendships measured in decades, not follower counts, wisdom transmitted through presence, not posts, change cultivated in seasons, not news cycles. Lasch saw that narcissism cannot comprehend delayed gratification. The angel rebuilds our capacity to wait and to trust the waiting conclusion. The way out is, as in the culture of narcissism, wants you to believe there's no alternative, that you must play the game or lose. But Lasch's warning is also an invitation to step off the treadmill, to reclaim your soul. These 5 angels aren't just helpers, they're proof heaven is dismantling the systems that broke you. So ask yourself, which angel is speaking to you now? Is it awareness cracking open the lies, discernment silencing the noise, resistance giving you courage to quit the act? Wherever you are, freedom is closer than you think. The culture of narcissism is loud, but God's voice is louder. If this message resonated, you're not alone. Share this video. Someone else is waking up too. Like, subscribe, and declare in the comments, I refuse the narcissistic script. I choose truth. The world may foster narcissism, but heaven fosters you. Walk free.